Tony, welcome to the interview, my man. I'm super pumped to have you on. It's been a long time coming because I think we've known each other for almost like 2 years now. So I'm very excited to have this interview. You've obviously crushed it. I know you scaled from 10K per month to all the way to 180K per month, and you're definitely becoming a big name and already quite are in the Spanish market. So really an honor to have you on. For the viewers, if you can introduce yourself, be
Yeah,
amazing.
of course. Thank you a lot, Bas, for this interview, and I'm so happy to be here. For those who don't know me, my name is Tony de la Torre. I live in Spain, in Tarragona, and um, basically what I do is I have an appointment setting coaching offer where I teach 9 to 5 people how to increase their income, increase their skills and learn how to do sales basically. So that's pretty much what we do.
Amazing. Yeah. And I remember, I think you joined CLM around, it was 2022 December, I believe it was, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I'm curious, what made you kind of like jump in and where was your business at the time?
Yeah, so basically when I enrolled CLM, I was coming from one of your previous programs, which was Elite, six-figure consultant Elite. And I pretty much liked the program. The support was incredible. I was really happy with it, and I was having good results. I remember that when I enrolled the program, I did the warm-up session with Danny,
Yeah.
and we did an action plan. We crushed the goals, and even though at the beginning I was like, oh my God, I'm not pretty sure if I can reach that goal. At the end of the month, I did it. I had to work a lot, but it was crazy, the results that I had. And then that was enough for me to see, to think myself, hey, I need to enroll into the next thing,
Right.
right? So
Love that.
basically in December, 3 months after that, in December, I enrolled CLM. And I would say that my biggest the biggest thing or the biggest uh uh I don't know sorry the biggest objective that I had um is that I wanted to increase not only my revenue but also to stop having too much complexity in my business.
Yeah.
At the time I was having a lot of complexity. I had two offers. It was crazy the amount of work that I had to do every single day,
I
and
remember. Yeah.
yeah, it was of my biggest challenges at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so you had a B2B offer and then you had a B2C offer. And I think the revenue was around 20, 30K per month, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And then I remember you were on Facebook, IG, but then a very big shift happened because I know that, and I'd love for you to, walk us through this. What were the shifts you made? I'd say fundamentally for the business first offer wise, because like right now it's the B2C is the main thing. And then what did that growth trajectory, just kind of in a nutshell, and then later on we'll go a bit deeper, like look like for you to go from, 10 to then 23K per month to 180K per month? Like fundamentally what happened and then what happened in that like huge growth spurt? I'd love to
Yeah.
know.
So basically, when I enrolled CLM, my main acquisition strategy was to drive traffic from, Meta to a Facebook group. And when the months were passing, I started to see a high decrease in the response rate from people joining the group and also the conversion rate. So I started to think about, okay, I need to do another funnel or reinvent myself or do something similar to keep up with the market itself. And then what I did is 2 or 3 months after that, after joining into the CLM program, um, what happened is that we did an in-person event in Portugal, and I saw that a lot of people were talking about, it was the appointment setting moment at that time,
Oh yeah.
and I was using appointment setting into my B2B offer. And I told myself, hey, I need to get into that industry as soon as possible, especially because in Spanish market there was nobody doing appointment setting. So then what I did, just to make the long story short, I created a B2C offer. And then that started to blow up, and yeah, we rapidly scale, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah, huge, 180K per month. And then I guess to like look at the marketing side of things, because I know first it was pretty heavy on organic. I know right now you're pretty heavy on ads and there's like some organic components to it. What worked really well for you that you're willing to share that helped you scale that offer to 180K per month?
Yeah, that's a good question, Bas. I would say, um, do you need to have a really solid, unique mechanism, which is different than what most people are listening right now on social media. So basically, you need to make sure that when you speak, you need to be able to be different than 99% of the people who are telling similar things to you. That's number one. Number two, I would say, of course, having a really good offer that delivers results, good results for your customers. And of course, also make sure that all those happy customers, you are collecting every single day data from them to, like, of course, show to new people those testimonials and those success stories because they are really important and they tell a lot of your product. And so
Yeah.
basically, I would say that those are the two components, like, having a good message and having a good offer. I would say that this is one of the keys of my, at least for me, the not only professional but also the personal growth that I had inside of CLM.
Yeah, I love that. So fundamentals really matter because a lot of people like think it's secrets, but you said like the messaging and the offer, like those were the big difference makers. And then if we go like a bit into the marketing strategy, because I know like right now you're running a VSL, maybe a couple of other things. What are, I guess, marketing strategy wise, like the strongest drivers that maybe you're still using and that really helped you grow, like the monthly revenue?
Yeah. So basically, we run a pretty simple VSL funnel. Like, it's not really complex. We have a NAT and we have a VSL. We have a triage call just to qualify the leads and see who's for our program and who's not. And then we have a sales call. That's pretty simple. But I would say that the key of the funnel is like making sure that in the ad you're talking to the top 20% of customers that you want to work with. Like, I
Yep.
think that most entrepreneurs try to talk to everybody because they think that their market is not big enough. But at the end of the day, the
Yeah.
market is huge. And,
Yeah.
even in Spain, I think that even the English market is so advanced and the Spanish market, maybe people can think that it's smaller. It's huge. It's super big. So I
Yep.
think the key is to be like a laser, like a sniper when you're talking to your customer, and then you get like higher conversion rates, higher show rates, higher, like, you increase your LTV, you lower your cost of acquisition, everything works more smooth, I would say.
Tony, another question for you. So how did you go like as you scaled to go from one man army basically to building out that team over time as you started to like grow in revenue? What did that process look like for you?
Yeah, so basically when I was solo in my business, the first position that I hired, it was an appointment setter because I
Okay.
basically needed more time to do more conversations, to have more calls, and then close more deals. So at the beginning, I think that entrepreneurs tend to overcomplicate things, and they have, as they start to scale, they try to copy like big players in the industry and try to do like really complex things. But at the end of the day, you only need more opportunities to close more deals, and that usually is done through appointment setters. So basically, what I did is I hired an appointment setter. Then my second hire was a coach to deliver a good results for my customers. And then
Okay.
the last role that I hired before removing myself from the sales process, it was a closer. So, but it was the last hire that I had because I really like to do closing calls, and I wanted to keep up with the closing thing, and it was the appointment setter, coach, and closer for me. Yeah.
Nice. And that was enough to be like at around 150K per month, just those three hires, or how did that further evolve?
Yeah, no, it was not enough. Like, uh, from that, what we did is like we repeat the process, like adding more setters, more
Right.
closers. Then we added triagers, So we are like a really solid infrastructure in terms of sales teams. And I would say that this is one of the key components, like having the right people into the team. And also one thing that I discovered along the way, I would say that is that you need to constantly train your team to be able to deliver exceptional results, right? Not only the
100%.
delivery team on how to handle happy customers, not happy customers, and everything else, but also your sales team. Like do screening with your appointment setters, do screening with your closers, review calls, do training wheels, role plays, and so on. So right now, to scale up to 150, 180K per month, right now my routine is like being able to deliver good training materials and leadership for my team, and making sure that they hit good KPIs and good numbers for the company.
I love that. And I know you're in Spain right now, and yourself, you're based in Spain too. Do you also have any clients you're enrolling from like the Latin American market, or is it just people that are in Spain at the moment?
Yeah, I would say that 95% of our customers are from Spain, due to the fact that we heavily rely on paid ads right now. But every single month we are having like more people coming from Latin America because of the organic. As in the organic game, you cannot control who is watching you, so we are kind of still having more people every single month from Latin America, especially in one low ticket offer that we have, which is very accessible for people in Latin America.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'd also be curious to know your perspective on, the international market versus the Spanish market. And, I know you haven't had an international offer, but how do you look at, the international market and the Spanish market, let's say in terms of prospect sophistication, engagement towards your ads, if it's easier to book calls, less easier, just based on knowledge, of course, you have. I know it's a bit of a broad question, but I'd love to, get your opinion on that.
Yeah, of course. So basically, in my opinion, I would say that the Spanish market is around 3 to 5 years. How to say that?
Behind.
Behind, yeah.
Yeah.
It's 3 to 5 years behind the English market in terms of sophistication, in terms of offers. I would say in terms of message, in terms of everything. So when I was starting, of course, I had the question for myself, like, should I offer my product into the English market or only into the Spanish market? And yeah, even though I had that question, I saw that the Spanish market was like only being born, I would say, and I wanted to tap really fast into that industry and be one of the first people who could create a bigger or a big business, I would say. So if any Spanish person is watching this video, I would say I don't see any big reason why you should go to the English market, because the Spanish market is really big, and you have a great opportunity right here. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, most people think like because the international market is so much bigger, the market is better, but I've always seen the opposite, in terms of practice and results happen that if you just focus on like a narrow market, like Denmark, Spain, or, whatever that may be, Romania, that is always better. I was even thinking of learning Chinese, and going to the Chinese market, or, like, puedo hablar español un poquito. Now take a poquito to Spain, but no, that's amazing, man. And then I guess like going more into the personal side of things, because obviously like that's huge growth. And I think with growth, one thing that always stood out for myself as I was scaling is the responsibility keeps increasing, and with that the pressure. So on a personal level, like, how did you deal with that growth? What were, maybe if you're willing to share, like some of the struggles you had to overcome to be a better leader, better entrepreneur, to be able to not only maintain but also keep growing, yourself in the business?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one really interesting thing that I can say is that right now, at this point, you have a lot of, the team is working. Like I can right now shut down my laptop and do not work for 1 week, and nothing will happen. Like, I think that this is a really good phase, or process in which I am right now. I remember when I was like at 10, 20, 30K per month, I was really struggling on how to nail the offer, nail the ads, nail the sales process and everything. And I think that this is a good right now it is a good phase for me, I would say. In terms of the team, one of my main goals every single day that I wake up, is how can I be the leader that my team members deserve. And
Yeah,
uh,
love
you
that.
know, every single week I'm reading books about it and trying to implement new programs and learning new things just to make sure that I'm the right person for them. Because if you're not the leader that they deserve, the sooner or later that will break the business, I would say. So,
100%.
uh, you know, when you are solo in business, the thing that will get you maybe to 6 or even 7 figures, it's skill set, like the strategy, skill set, and implementation, in my opinion. But if you want to scale more, like above that, you need to be a great leader for your company, because you cannot do it everything for yourself. You need team members who execute, right?
Yep.
So it's kind of a mind shift that you need to do right there, just to make sure that you can keep up with the growth of the business.
Yeah, love that. So really going from like a one-man army mindset to like more serving your team to make sure they can do the things that you would otherwise do by yourself, so they can get the result on the setting side, closing side. Yeah, that's amazing, brother. And then I had another question for you. So earlier when we were speaking before the interview, you mentioned like there was a lot of complexity that, was on your daily activity list and you didn't exactly know what to focus on. So how did you like kind of go about creating something structured for yourself that if you know you do this activity, it's going to be resulting in an output you want? Like, how do you kind of go from like a scattered mindset, seeing all these strategies that are available out there, to really doubling down on what's working and what you should be doing as a coach to grow your business?
Okay, yeah, that's a solid question. I would say that, if that's okay, I can share one exercise that I do every single month. And
Yeah.
basically, what I do at the end of the month, it's like I take a look into the most important KPIs of my business, like ad spend, revenue ROAS, cash collected, close percentage, VSL opt-ins, VSL conversion rate. Every single business has its own, but what I do is like I try to identify the biggest constraint of the business. Like this month, which is the only thing that I'm gonna focus on solving. So basically, if I see that the closers are not performing really, really well, I can see that because I see maybe there's a 20% close rate, and months before we were at 40% close rate. So this month, I'm gonna be only focusing on that. Like, how can we do more training wheels, more role plays? How can we review more calls? And we are only focusing on that for the month. Then we solve that constraint. We usually see an increase in the revenue, and then we find another constraint, who can be maybe the ads. I would say, like maybe
Yeah, love that.
you know. And every single month, I'm trying to solve the biggest constraint of the business. Does not mean that I don't have maybe five constraints at the same time, but I'm trying to solve only one, the biggest
Yep.
one, the bottleneck or the constraint, that if I expand that bottleneck, everything like starts to flow, and of course drives more revenue and more traffic and more conversions to the company.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then another follow-up question with that, like what are things when you start your working day, you're like, I have to do these things so we book calls. Otherwise, we're gonna like, decline the amount of calls we book for our offer. Like what are those things that you make sure you do every single day to make sure the business not only maintains the current level, but also keeps growing?
Yeah, in my scenario, because I heavily rely on paid ads, I need to make sure that we have fresh ads coming out every single week at least.
Yeah.
So that means um, having a proper research on terms of new ideas for the ads, new hooks, new bodies, new tests. Um, And then once we have the research, then we basically script the ads and I film the ads. And one interesting thing that I saw about that, maybe there's a golden, golden tip for somebody who's looking for this interview. I would say that our best performing ads are not recorded with a really sophisticated camera. They're recorded with my 3-year-old iPhone 13, and
Yeah,
they're really good. So no more sophistication on ads
nice.
should be equal to more conversion, right?
Yep.
So in terms of paid ads, I would say make sure that you have enough paid ads every single day coming out for, or every single week or every single month coming out for your business. Right now I have like 200 creatives right now running right now in Meta, just to make sure that it's not luck, but it's probability, that to
Yeah.
find a really good ad. And in terms of everything else, just making sure that there are enough calls booked in the calendar and there's no anything is broken. Like, okay, if I one day I see that there's no sales call, the first thing that I need to know is to go and find the broken piece in the funnel, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe Vimeo isn't reproducing the VSL, or I don't know, daily activities that sometimes break. Um, this type of things. But as I am a brand who strongly relies right now on paid ads, it's not the best, but that's really the reality.
So good.
I would say that making sure that you have enough volume and quality of the ads every single week.
Nice. Yeah, I love that. And then if you look back at, like, let's say the Tony De La Torre, there was at 20, 30K per month, and you could give him some advice like, here's how you get to 100K per month. What would you tell him?
Wow. I would probably talk with them like for 5 hours straight, but if I can take 2 to 3 action items, I would say um, narrow down your message. Like, you just make sure that you're talking specifically to the type of customer you want to serve. And that's boring because most of us want to directly have more sales and more revenue in the company, but this boring work is usually the work that moves the needle the most.
Yeah.
um, this is one of the things that I would say. The other thing is, like, if you are solo in the business, review all your calls or your sales calls and try to implement new things. Like, you know, uh, first of all, you need to think if you are talking to the right customer, if the customer that you're having is the right person. If that's not, you need to change your marketing or your message. And if it is, and you're not closing deals, you need to be better at sales. So that's the end of the that's the thing, right? Um, and yeah, basically obsessed with the process, like not with the outcome, but with the process. Like,
That's a good one.
make
Yep.
sure that you're doing your best every single day on each of the activities. And that's of course difficult and boring, but we are business owners. We are not like influencers. We are serious people. We want to make serious income, change seriously lives, and that's the boring stuff that makes that happen.
Yeah, no, I love that. And that's a lot of golden nuggets, like right after each other. And it kind of ties into my next question I have for you, because now we're in 2025, and based on where you see the market go, and this is the last question in the interview, what would you advise to coaches to make sure they do fundamentally to not only, stay the current level they're at, but be able to maintain that and also keep growing in this year and how the market is evolving?
Wow, that's a really solid question, Bas. I would say that taking a look into the market, what I see that is that the market is sophisticating every single month. The customer needs every single time they need more and in more quality. So I would say that they should be focusing on quality of contents, of being themselves. Try not to be someone that they are not. Like,
Yeah,
authenticity is the ultimate form of marketing, in my opinion.
I
And
agree.
I would say that in terms of super specific advice, what I see that is working really well right now is just posting free content with, with the intention of giving free value, really good stuff for the customers, and then pushing that, like boosting that content to your profile, and then talk with the new followers every single day. And conversions happen in conversations. This is the most important thing that I learned. Just put the enough amount of free value stuff so that I am more obligating people just to follow me, because when they follow you, you can start genuinely conversation with them. And if you learn appointment setting and sales, where you can of course learn a lot from Bas, you can achieve great results, but really high results. You just need to create good stuff. You need to have conversations with your followers, and you need to learn to close deals. And after you learn that, you will never be hungry again. Like everything is okay.
Love that. Yeah, it's really the basics that it comes down to. It's funny, like people always think there's a secret, but whenever I do an interview like this, or I talk to people like privately, it's always just do content, talk with people, just do it really well, focus on the process, not the outcome. And if you're consistent enough, and I think that's the really hard part, like as you're in the midst of that consistency, most people drop off because they don't see the result. But if you see it through, then you can sit across of myself just like Tony and have 180K per month business, which is incredible. So Tony, thank you so much for coming on, my man. It was really amazing. Do you have any final words you want to share with the people that are watching?
Yes, of course. First of all, thank you, Bas, for this interview. I think that you are one of the most legit persons that I have ever met in business. If somebody is watching this interview and is thinking about talking with Bas or talking with somebody of the team, my recommendation is, of course, talk with them. They're super legit. I felt like a really solid program inside of the all the six-figure consultative, like CLM, all the infrastructure that you have is way bigger than I was thinking before joining the program. So awesome. I would say that, yeah, thank you for everything. If somebody's thinking about working with you, you are super legit. You have the best strategies that I know. And of course, you just have to put the right work in place and be guided from the people who have achieved what do you want to achieve, right? So that's my biggest advice.
Tony, thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.